world? What's poppin'? As I always say, right? There ain't nothing new under the sun. So, a little something dropped in your boys, shall we say, inbox, and I thought I'd share it with all of you. And after I get done sharing this tad bit of information that I've got for you all, I actually want to sit back and touch on a few things pertaining to what you're about to hear, and then a few things about everything that's going on right now when it comes to 1199 SEIU, the Members First Community Slate, all of you as employees of whatever institution you work for, as well as members of 1199 SEIU who all pay dues. So that being said, I got to be very careful how I choose my words, but let's just say one of those individuals of the 3% made sure that something that found its way to them found its way to me. I have been nonstop sharing nothing but receipts with all of you. I'm talking about receipts taking us all the way back to the 80s when Dennis Rivera was in charge, up to the 90s when he got removed for fraud because of the money schemes that were played with the Democratic Party. I've also shown you the nonprofits that he used to run in the union headquarters that still exist, that are still moving said monies. I've shown you the attachment of the ties between him and NYU all the way back to the 90s with the then president of NYU, Teresa Bishkoff, who herself, when you look it up, she was removed, or should I say, allowed to resign and step down, according to the information, because of scandal and a salacious relationship with a big-time union boss. Ding, ding, ding. You just got to connect the dots. Not only that, we know after the last re-election at Montefiore, with what happened with one Farrah Hargett, who then went out of her way to say that I doctored a federal document, a government document about the re-election, which I'm still saying, which I know one of you recorded that town hall in which it was said on. I would love that in my inbox, as well as the video of Veronica walking through the hotel drunk. Oh, fucker. I know what's out there. So if you got it, we need it. But anyways, back on track. So yeah, there've been a lies and attacks on my character. We all know what Laura Goodwin, aka Ruthless Toothless, or Mr. Sweet Dick Willie, aka Pondy Poom Poom Mr. Ashby, has been saying about me. All the ad hominem attacks. But you know what's funny, what they'll never say? No one's ever called me a liar. And instead of attacking me personally with a bunch of bullshit lies, no one has ever said that what I'm saying is untrue. I showed you the video with Lorraine. And before that, every time you've heard her voice, you've never seen a face or an image. Why? One, to protect the anonymity of the individual that gave me that information. But two, because I knew what was going to happen that day, because the ancestors let me know. And what did she do? She specifically waited as everyone out there in that crowd watched me, right? Put up the camera, at which point she walked up and admitted, one, that she is a part of the executive board. And no one of the executive board is supposed to talk about executive board business outside of those executive board meetings. But she admitted to having an actual vote on the money that they claim was never voted on and the money that they claim George stole.
I hope you got enough content.
Huh?
I hope you got enough content.
Enough footage?
I hope you got enough footage.
Yeah.
Stop posting my voice, okay? Stop posting my voice.
Excuse me?
Yeah, stop posting my voice.
I come here whenever. So this shop is locked. So you guys can go someplace else because I already tell my members the truth, right? Because I am one of the vice president who vote against the money that George asked for, the members' money.
I hope you got enough footage.
Yeah.
Stop posting my voice, okay? Stop posting my voice.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
The same information that was given to Maya Kaufman in Politico a month before the election that you all used to make a determination on who you was going to vote for. And I want to keep in mind before I run this audio, because what you're about to hear is tied into what I'm about to say. If the Department of Labor, a federal institution, came in and found ballot tampering, false ballots sent to addresses, I've shown you all of this. The ballot parties that they were having, all of it was illegal, but it was only contested in one location, which was the Farrah Hargett re-election that they had with Olympia. But if the Members First Community Board State was doing that, that means every election at every institution was compromised because they were all on the same ticket. Which means if there was fraud in the Farrah Hargett and Michelle Rodriguez election, there was also fraud in the George and Yvonne election, the Ashby and whoever else, and on down the line, all the way down to Campos Santos, you name them. It was the same thing going on because we all saw the same information, the same flyers, and had the same ballot parties at every location. But no one seems to be connecting those dots. We also know what group of people lied on George Gresham. I'm one man that can only do but so much. But that being said, pay attention and listen very close.
The hearing and appeals board for the chapter to be a part of the union-wide hearing and appeals. So Charles gave out the names of the folks that each EVP picked, not per institution, per division. So when he got to Presbyterian, I'm just running down everything that happened last night in a nutshell. When he got to Presbyterian, he told the person that was picked, which was David Dyer, a guy from 168th Street, that works in facilities, that's a part of the hearing and appeal committee at 158th Street. 158th Street has started their chapter hearing and appeals already. They have heard cases already. We are not like behind. They just started literally last month. I think they heard like maybe one or two cases already. So he was chosen. Some of the folks from 168th Street felt like
he was chosen.
They should have had an opportunity to pick. Well, I'm just here to tell everybody that if Charles would have never brought it out, folks would have never ever known, because as long as I've been a part of the union, I'm just going to use myself as an example, we never knew, because Millie and Debbie, oh my gosh, she was before Millie. They never even let the delegates body know, even when I was a delegate, we never knew who the person was that they put on the hearing and appeals union-wide board, because they picked them. This new leadership is being very transparent with everything. A lot of stuff that we didn't know, and I'm using myself as an example, as a delegate, when I was out as a CA, when I was out as an organizer, we never knew anything. Never knew about the finance, the budget, the dues, the political, nothing.
Now, you heard her. They picked them. Now, so who's they?
Anything against that, which y'all never knew. Now they are being very transparent by saying, this is what we're doing moving forward, and these are the folks that was picked. 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 So when Charles seen that, it was kind of going left.
This is what we're doing moving forward, and this is who they picked. They're telling you that everybody that was on the Members First Community slate was handpicked by Yvonne Armstrong and Veronica Turner Bankruptcy Biggs. The same people that told Maya Kaufman, the reporter for the Politico, who told you George stole the money. But you heard what Lorraine said. I was the one that told George no when he asked for the money. That means he went to the executive board and asked for the money, and then you saw her run up on me out on 14th Street and tell me, stop using my voice. I hope you got enough content. but stop using my voice, which at that point she admitted that was her on the audio, admitting the executive board did in fact vote on the money that George Gresham asked for rightfully. And I've got all the receipts to back all that up too, but we'll get to that at some point. But that said, let's get back to, the words, according to this lady, of Mr. Charles NYSTROM, and how Yvonne Armstrong, Veronica Turner, and everyone else down that chain from Tyreek to P.P. Lee, old Ruthless, Toothless, Campo Santos, and how they all were selected and handpicked. NYU, Campo Santos.
He said if folks want to nominate folks, that they could. They even think against that, which y'all never knew. Now they are being very transparent by saying, this is what we're doing moving forward, and these are the folks that was picked. So when Charles seen that it was kind of going left with Presby, and then NYU jumped on the bandwagon, and then Mount Sinai jumped on the bandwagon, he said if folks want to nominate folks, that they could. So folks nominated people, right? And I'm only looking at my side because I wasn't really paying no attention to the other institution. I was looking at my side. And if I can quote right, the folks that was on the call help me out. I think somebody nominated Sandra. David Dyer was already in there. Somebody nominated Rayborn Bay, which is from 168th Street also. I think that's about it. If the staff know of any other name, you can call it out. But I only remember... I'm sorry, somebody trying to say something? Raheem. I don't know if Sandra was there or they second Sandra. Somebody nominated Sandra. I saw that. Ray, I'm sorry. Somebody nominated Sandra from Lower Manhattan. But it only went as far as... What I'm saying, she didn't make the poll. So either they got somebody seconded or not? No, nobody seconded. I didn't hear nobody seconded. She was just nominated. But nobody seconded. So,
that means they're not even following proper protocol when putting people on the poll. Because they're not even getting seconds. But then I'll let her finish eloquently telling her what I've been trying to show y'all for the last 3 years.
You want to continue from there? Yeah, good evening, everybody. It's been a while since I've seen you all on this meeting. Good evening, Ray. So yeah, I heard Madelyn. She kind of explained everything, how it played out. Again, this is a committee that, may meet once or twice a year. And so, it was just they asked the officers to make a recommendation from only 6 of the divisions, because everybody else that's on the committee is typically the rank and file persons. That's already elected. And so, I understand the notion that everybody felt like they wanted the opportunity to, be selected. But this is like the process, right? Like, all of the delegates are elected. And so if we have to pick a delegate for a certain task, we don't have to go back to all the members and have them select which delegate they want, because they've already had an election to choose their leaders. And so, this is part of the process. They wanted a recommendation for a person, and then Charles said, all right, well, I'll take the division's recommendations and open nominations for folks that want to nominate, and then we'll have a vote. It was supposed to be very simple, but, it didn't turn out simple. And so, hopefully, they get the system together where folks they send out the email. We haven't got a notification of when they will send out the email for folks to vote. And so I guess, if anybody has questions about it, me and Madelyn can answer. So just to add to that with Ray,
So that's her right there telling you that her and Ray, y'all know Ray Wilson, they don't even know any of the logistics. So who knows what's going on? But they're telling you how the process was supposed to be, but how it's going now, and how instead of being elected, people are being selected for you. But I'm going to let them finish.
I don't think that they would have an email lingering for a day, knowing that last night was the voting process. And it's just Rayvon Bay and David Dyer was tie to tie, right? So that's why we doing this call tonight, because the delegates, Presbyterian Division, will be getting an email to vote. But it will be between David Dyer and Rayvon Bay. So we are asking you all to vote for David Dyer. So we are asking you all to vote for David Dyer. David Dyer. David Dyer. The original person who's a part of the hearing and appeals with Rayside already. Unmute yourself. Yeah, I think since they didn't send it out today, I would imagine it's gonna take you all to vote for David Dyer, the original person who's a part of the hearing and appeals. So we are asking you all to vote for David Dyer.
Ain't that some shit? So what you telling me, is that Madelyn Bovain? Or it could be Jacqueline Allen. It's one of y'all. But it appears that Mr. Charles NYSTROM, through the command chain from the boss, sit on top of the mango tree, that y'all have to vote for Mr. Dyer, because they've all got a game plan. They just need you to acquiesce of your free will. And this is what I've been showing everybody the whole time. But let her finish.
Original person who's a part of the hearing and appeals with Rayside already. And just to add to that, Ray, you want to say something? You unmuted yourself. Yeah, I think that since they didn't send it out today, I would imagine it's going to take a couple of days, because what I know about the system that they use, Election Buddy, and it's going to have to go to the set of delegates who have emails on file, of course, to be sent per division for all the delegates across. So it might take a little while to set up. Just thinking about the logistics of, they have to carve out Mount Sinai's delegates, and then Presby's delegates, and then Monteferi's delegates, and send them the email for their poll. We don't know how long it'll be up when they do send it, so hopefully we do get a notice so that we can remind folks to, hey, go ahead and vote. You have like an hour to do it or whatever, I don't know. So, we're awaiting that information as well. And as soon as we get it, if they send it tomorrow or Monday morning, say, hey, it's going out at this time, Ray and I will make sure that the staff put it in the delegates chat, so please watch. So you can, check your email. I pray that everybody have their correct email on file. If you don't get it, don't come beat down the staff door or my door because you didn't get it. Evidently, they don't have your correct email. Just to add to that, I had a meeting with the staff today, and we spoke about the hearing and appeals committee that was that volunteered to do it at each shop, right? So we're gonna hopefully get that started. I'm meeting with the staff not next week, but the following week after that, so I can make sure that they know the process of doing it within the chapter, right? And then anything after the 20th. everyone already started theirs. But I have to make sure that the staff are clear with it.
So, at this point, it is what it is. And you all can do with that information what you will. My job is simply to deliver it, because here at Akata News Network, that's what we do. But before I go, I want to touch on something, because I've been touching on it, and I understand that certain conversations are hard to have, but sometimes they have to be had. And trust me, I get it, because I was once a part of the same mindset that everything was hunky-dory and that we were all one big coalition. But if the coup d'etat of George Gresham, aka a dead goat in Haiti, haven't shown you anything else, which I've shown you all the receipts that I've been able to gather up until this point, is that under the surface, there's something else going on. And if you pay attention to the patterns and you pay attention to all the players, you're going to see a consistent pattern that repeats through it all. And it's undeniable. Now, for all the old school heads out there, all the old organizers, VPs, EVPs, contract administrators who have conversations behind closed doors and meetings about which group is being pushed where and how certain pockets or groups of the population are now being admitted out of all the decision making when it comes to the union. When you look at all the people that came together to conspire and say that George Gresham stole money from the members and they delivered a collection of agreed upon facts or his story, they all belong to a specific group. And they're all going along to get along with a handpicked of a select few Sam Bonies or house Negroes that are, oddly enough, tethering themselves along to this naturalized cause. There are a lot of things that I would like to share with you that I cannot now, but you ask yourself why the union that brags about being the biggest healthcare union in the country, when we saw what happened with the fire department and NYPD after what happened back in 2018, 2019, why didn't any of the 1199 union members get their jobs back? Huh? When something was deemed unconstitutional and that it was against the law to mandate it, why did not all of these essential workers get their jobs back? And why didn't any of the hospitals or 1199 push back against an unlawful? But as you start to really follow the paper trail and look at the connections and kickbacks, allegedly, of course, even with the re-election and the fraud that was found, if there was fraud by the members' first slate and they were having ballot parties at every institution, that means every election on every ballot, on every ticket was compromised. But you see how that went. And then they lied and told you in good faith they were going to have a re-election. But I showed you the document that the National Labor Board told Yvonne Armstrong, you're going to have a re-election or you're going to suffer litigation. That means we're taking your ass to court. But she lied to the members. And when the receipts was given to me and I hand delivered them to you, Farrah Hargett got on her soapbox and said that I was doctoring documents. But to add to a bigger issue, and this is what I want to say, when I did the video showing the smoking gun where Lorraine said, stop using my voice, and which she admitted the executive board did in fact vote on the money George did in fact ask for, and they in fact then did decide to give it to him and then turn around and told you he stole it so they could, on top of all the election tampering, the ballot parties and everything else that they were doing, so that they could cheat an election. And I've shown you all of that with receipts. And when I got the smoking gun, because this would clear this man's name, I asked one thing. We have to get this story out because it's literally just us as the members. Because if you notice, ain't nobody else talking about what we're dealing with. And you know why? That's because when they they know what's happening because they're doing investigations. I showed you the 4,000 backlog, a 4,000 case backlog with the National Labor Relations Board now, just on 1199, because they're getting hit every day with something else. And what y'all don't see happening in the background is how all these trees are getting shaken and a lot of people are losing jobs or all of a sudden resigning before certain events happen. And that's why when I did the video showing that, I said the only thing that I'm asking, because I've never asked for anything else. I'm not asking for money, anything, was like, comment, subscribe, share, but more importantly was to tag either the National Labor Relations Board, Department of Homeland Security, because you'll be surprised how many people are working on EINs or as contractors that don't have, because remember, it's a sanctuary city. So there's a lot of DACA workers going around taking American jobs. But anyways, to stay on track. And I said was at popping.
I don't get that enough footage. Yeah. Stop posting my voice, okay? Stop posting my voice.
Excuse me?
Yeah, stop posting my voice.
Well, you know what? You get a lawyer and make me and have a nice
Stop
day.
posting. That's why they fired their ass.
If you have
No, they fired me because y'all wasn't doing your job. I got something to do. I'm going to take y'all down. Have a wonderful day, sweetheart. God loves you.
It's interesting because when I go back and tell girls, guess who I was with today? And I'm like,
What's popping? So let's just get straight to I'm
high school teacher
back. Oh, straight to
guess who I was with today? And I'm like, oh shit, I was you saw it.
Tell my members the truth, right? Because
I have them all. There are so many things that I haven't released yet. Again, you all were lied to. You all were lied to by people that pulled the coup d'etat and destroyed a man's name so that they could actually destroy the union. And I have the receipts. I have them all. There are so many things that I haven't released yet because the time is not now. But please, tag the FBI and the National Labor Board and the Trump administration in this video because that's the smoking gun. The New York Post, the New York Times, Politico. Because you see, they have departments within each one of these institutions where somebody sits there and watches the traffic and all the metadata of what's happening in the analytics. So when they see that there's a spike in ads of Kash Patel, Donald Trump, was Tom Homan, National Labor Relations Board, and all these different institutions that overlap because they all have departments that watch over these exact type of things like the lies and the election fraud, the money laundering, and all the receipts. I'm showing you where they're investing your money in the petroleum companies in Venezuela. The fringe benefits, they're paying car notes of some of these VPs that don't even show up and represent you. I've got it all. But all I asked was, could people please tag these institutions so that the people that sit in the offices all day and are there to watch the analytics and the spikes, they know that this group of people cares so much about what's happening in their reality that they're trying to get our attention. And I can go back and I can show you exactly what happened. And this is what I'm saying or what I mean by what I'm about to say. I was fired from NYU April 18th, 2025.
On March 17, 2025, you recorded a departmental meeting that occurred in the patient care area and posted it on social media. You were directed multiple times by management to cease recording in the patient care area, and you did not comply with management's directive. This letter outlines the details of your insubordination and policy violations. Please surrender your ID and any keys that you may have prior to leaving the premises.
Quick question. You talking about the meeting with the incident with Fiona?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking about the meeting? Yeah, with Fiona, correct? So, New York State states I have the right to... Let me finish.
Go ahead.
States I have the right to record, right? Now, this woman here, Debbie Newman, stated that she did an investigation, to which she said everyone denied my claims, which I have on tape. Fiona walking on my face. In fact, you saw Fiona the tape, right?
We're not gonna debate.
No, I'm speaking though. It's not about debate.
We're not gonna discuss it.
That's fine, but I have my opportunity to speak, so I'm going to speak. Period. Since you terminate me, I'm going to speak. So she breaks the law. I record it, and y'all get mad because you're caught out there, right? And it is what it is, because you lied and said that you did an investigation, which we know you didn't, because I know who you spoke to, and I have them on tape saying what they told you. So we're going to play this game, and that's fine. But just like everything else, I have 6 terabytes of everything that's been going on in here, and I'm going to just make sure it gets to my lawyer.
This meeting is now concluded.
I know it is, because you're scared.
So,
It took him 7 minutes to put on his mask, but in what area? Was he coming out of the bathroom? Was he in the staff lounge? Where was he at when they told him to put on his mask? Was he drinking water? Was he eating something? Was he on lunch? That is very vague of what they're stating.
What time?
Okay. All right, yeah, as I said, let's continue on with the union, and then I will ask the management to respond.
Now, that day in the write-up, they said, when I said them questioning me, Debbie, out her mouth, said, no, we didn't question you in the patient care area. We questioned you in a hallway. So when it happened that day when me and Kevin had the meeting, Debbie herself said, when I said about Fiona questioning me in the patient care area in front of staff and patients, which I recorded, they said, no, it's not a patient care area. You were questioning a hallway. But then when they used the same video to terminate me, it went from a hallway to a patient care area. And I have all that on tape. I also have the statement from Cam saying that Fiona walked up in my face, as well as other rehab attendants. This is why I started recording, because every time I would say something was happening, you see what's in the write-ups. It's all lies.
You did take them seriously, what you had written in your email, and I did do an investigation and asked multiple people about what occurred at that huddle, and no one substantiated or commented that Fiona was...
I'm going to tell you why you're lying.
It was quite the opposite.
I'm going to tell you why you're lying.
I'm not lying.
Because every staff member told me what they saw, Debbie, and I recorded it. And I recorded the meeting. So thank you for the lie. And Friday, when you had the conversation with me, it was an extended conversation about performance, right? In a patient care area. So...
That was actually a hallway.
No, that's the Sports Performance Center. The green's right there. Lacey walked by, and Building Services also walked by at the same time. So people were walking, and right there, Lacey walked by.
That was actually a hallway.
No station about performance, right? In a patient care area. So
that was actually a hallway.
So I stepped out of my office. First, I don't consent to be recorded, and this is a patient care area.
Well, okay. First of all, I don't know what you're talking about.
I genuinely enjoyed my job. I enjoyed what I did. I enjoyed my interactions with the patients, and I'm not going to lie and say I don't miss it. But now I understand fully what's going on. I understand with pharmacy and all the things that are intertwined in this whole system that's diabolical. I was a delegate under Campo Santos for years, and I see what happened, me being a delegate, and how I was handled and treated for doing my job. And delegates don't get paid. So all the delegates that are actually doing the work of the VPs and the organizers who don't do shit but sit on their ass all day with their thumbs up their ass. The delegates are doing all the work for free. So after spending 6-7 years as a delegate working for free and expending my life, I then went to war for myself and others around me. And I said to everybody around me, this is what the plan is. This is what I'm going to do. So when the state comes in, I'm not asking you to say anything. Just tell your story and be true to you. And if you tell what you see every day, that'll help me prove what's happening to all of us in here. And that's why my case is in conciliation now. But my point is that I'm no longer working at NYU. And to be honest with you, I have no intentions on going back, and I'm no longer going to be an actual 1199 member. So whether the contract is good or not, I have no dog in this fight. I've shown you all when I went through my grievance and I needed help. I reached out to George Gresham, and he didn't know me from a can of paint or a hole in the wall, but he made sure what I needed, I got in that moment. And that's why Gullah, because you never heard of a delegate go past the grievance phase, but he's been there every step of the way. That way I didn't have to depend on one of these lying ass, no good pieces of, to fuck me like they fuck everybody else. And I had another set of eyes there to watch and corroborate what's been going on top of what I'm recording. But he made that happen. So when it was brought to my attention, all the things that was happening, I said, hey, the brother's from VA. I got ties to the 757. Hampton, Newport News, Norfolk, Hampton, Newport News, Norfolk, Suffolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth. Those are my own stopping grounds. I used to run through there before it was the 757, back when all of it was the 804 and motherfucking the Buddha Brothers was on the radio. So that, just off of that alone, and that he another brother from the soil, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I see what's happening. So let's go to war. But then when it's time to go to war, show up and show out, and we got deadlines to meet, when the plans are set, and by this date, we're supposed to be filing this injunction to do this, to tie up certain things, and nothing's happening. The chaos deadlines are being met, but it's like, I don't get paid to do this. I don't. But I know when I walked out of NYU, somebody said something to me on my way out the door. And shout outs to her, because she's been supporting me through all of this shit. When I needed a statement, when skin folk wouldn't even write me statements. These are the people, all the people that we were told were the deplorables. Those were the people that came out the shadows to help me in time of need. But my own foundation, 6 weeks after the fact, after I've already asked, then come, oh, yo, you need this, my nigga. But then when I tell my story, I react a certain way. People are offended and they don't like it.
When I remember when that happened. Yeah. I didn't know that was you, bro.
Yeah. She was awesome. She was awesome for years.
We got a plaque on HR and all that shit. It's interesting because when I go back and tell the girls, guess who I was with today? And I'm like, oh shit, I was there. You saw it. So, contrary to believe, I'm actually pretty cool. So the angry black man thing don't work with me. So the angry black man thing don't work with me. So the angry black man thing don't work with me. And the Spanish girl thing don't work with me. I don't see color at work. I don't play that shit. I want you to know that.
No.
I'm keeping 110 with you. I don't play the angry black dude because they play the angry Spanish dude with me too. I know anything that comes out of our mouth will be used against us.
She knows that. Angry. She knows that is the words.
I'm not certain she even knows that she's Hispanic. Hamada, don't even get me started. I'm not certain she even knows that she's Hispanic. Hamada, don't even get me started. I'm not certain she even knows that she's Hispanic. Hamada, don't even get me started. So, I'm keeping 100 with you. Stay away from her.
So basically, anytime there's an allegation, right, this is just allegation, and what we're trying to do is find the facts. find out what happened. So anytime there's an allegation that someone may have made a comment about a protected class, So anytime there's an allegation that someone may have made a comment about a protected class, So anytime there's an allegation that someone may have made a comment about a protected class, especially when the department receives it in writing, there needs to be further discussion about it. So today is really to discuss about it. So I don't have all the facts.
That's the protected class right there.
So
Nunu and her triune.
a little bit about like what happened with the other coworkers, when it happened.
Suspended me. So yesterday she tried the same thing on Monday. I ran up in her face and then I followed her to the office. So
Who was standing there?
Everybody was.
Oh, and Dave, you got your witness right there? Well, I wasn't here.
Bro, I ain't even worried about it because they always lying. And no, so I sent them an email and I told them that. And I was like, when we had the last meeting and Kenny said what he said, I said, y'all got mad at Kenny for what he said because you only heard the adjectives, but you didn't hear the message. I said, so basically I broke it down. I'm like, you're following me around, looking for reasons to fire me for nothing.
Yeah, that's what this is stuff.
And that's what he said, but y'all don't want to hear it.
Even though I made that comment about white people chasing me around, this shit is true. Even though I made that comment about white people chasing me around, this shit is true. Even though I made that comment about white people chasing me around.
So then why'd you lie on my name, brother? I can only react to what I'm experiencing, what I see. But we all know what happened to Mr. Gresham. And just by default, how it's affecting everyone else on down the line. Because who's suffering are all the American workers who is about to get that shitty contract that they just 7%. You see what Long Island Railroad got? A cool 15. And they just went outside and walked around in a circle for about 24 hours. But the best they can come up with y'all niggas is for 7%. And when I go out of my way to deliver receipts showing you how you're being lied to, how you're being handled, how the union system is actually set up to strip you of your power. I've walked you down the Taft-Hartley Act and everything on down. Nothing, yo. So at this point, I have to ask myself, because like I say, my case is in conciliation. I'm going to be good. I'm going to make sure I'm made whole. I started fighting for myself way back when, and I'm going to make sure, ain't no doubt in my mind, I'm going to get made whole. And after that, I can ride off into the sunset. But when I saw that there were my peers out there that still needed help, I said, yo, we can kill two birds with one stone. But this is not just content for me. This is my life. But like I said, I'm not getting paid. And I don't ask for hand. I just ask, yo, can we tag this so that the feds can come in and see what's going on so that you can get a better contract and so that you can get transparency and so that the people who are fucking you over and trying to dismantle your union and they're getting help from within. And it's always been like that because I've shown you Dennis Rivera still sits on the League of Hospitals and he's in there right now helping you fight for the 7%. The same dude that was removed for embezzling money. I don't know what else I can do or what else I can show. But what I do know is that I no longer have a dog in this fight because I'm not going back to NYU and I'm not going back to 1199. So you've all watched people walk up on me in crowds and shit. But at some point, because you know, every time something happens, things always grow, escalate. And just like in generations, each generation gets a little weaker and a little wiser. They get a little, every time something happens, it's a little bit crazier than before. And even when I started this, I knew what I signed up for, so I'm not complaining. But I never wanted to be on social media, because if you go down my timelines, you don't see me making any videos until about 3 years ago when I started talking about this. So 4 TikTok accounts later, X account completely banned. When I started talking about all of this shit here, I've shown you my analytics So I'm completely shadow banned on every social media network. So without engagement, these messages don't even get out. But I'm trying to take what I have and the resources that I have and the team that's behind the scenes doing shit to get things accomplished. But when people act like they don't care about what's going on outside of the entertainment value, because, you know, people stop and comment, oh, she told that nigga that's why his ass got fired. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's funny, but bigger than that, she just admitted that they in fact did vote on the executive board for the money that they told you was stolen. The election was rigged, everything else, and these same people are right now fighting for a contract that they're going to fuck you over on because the contract was signed months ago, and it's all pomp and circumstances and for show so they can reconcile the books before October, so they can cover up the trips to Barbados, Japan, and everything else that they're doing with your money, or how they take your union dues and they buy these gift cards that they give to you at these union meetings and shit that they just handing out and signing to whoever shows up. But they're keeping the bulk of them because that's how they hide the fact that they're fucking up the money. Or they have these meetings where they tell you to show up for town halls and they give you free sneakers and fried chicken. But see, if the white man did that, you'd be crying about white supremacy in a fucking minute. But because it's them, the same people that you have no culture, I don't do it. But yeah, like I said, at this point, I'm going to make sure that I'm whole. I know Guller's going to be straight, but when the whole world's looking at you like you're crazy and you're fighting a fight that is not actually your fight and you no longer have a dog in anything attached to it, but the people that you were actually fighting for refuse to fight for yourself, because I've had people outright tell me, yo, don't send me this. I don't want to see this. I don't care. So it's starting to really feel like, why should I? So yeah, this is how they playing in your face. But until people stop allowing it, because I can only show you so many receipts, but until motherfuckers get to work and get off their asses and start getting active, I'm doing all this for nothing. And after all I've said and done, I have no choice but to become an independent money machine on my own, because I will never be able to go out and get another job. And I did all this to help you, but again, people don't want to help themselves. So that being said, the receipts that I have left, and as the way they pertain to my reality and my situation, I'm going to continue doing what I got to do to make sure that on the back end of this, I'm made whole. And then I can slide off into the sunset and build what I want to build. But we all had an opportunity to build and actually destroy and rebuild by exposing all the bullshit that's going on, all the lies that are being told. And can't nobody deny it. Because even now, with everything I've shown up to this point, nobody can deny anything that I've said or that I've shown. But what everyone else that we're not paying attention to is they're watching the members' reaction to the things that I'm saying, and they're seeing your inaction. So if I'm going to get up on the internet and make myself look crazy and shuck and jive, I'm not doing it to entertain people, because I'm not getting paid off of this. If I wanted to get paid, I could show you when I was talking about Somalian TPS and the content's doing 11, 12,000 with no problem. I could be doing that and then just literally monetize my page and make money. It was never about the fucking money. It was about right is right and standing on what was ethically, morally, and contractually right. And through every step of this process, you know, when I started, my father told me, son, just know that when you go to war, the clan you're about to go up against has a clan. What shocked me the most is that when that clan unveiled itself, they looked just like me. Some of them used to be what I would call friends or associates who told me I was wrong because I made Debbie Newman, John Salvatore, and Jennifer Gallinaro look bad for breaking federal laws and discriminate. These niggas sent me home because I was black. And I had black niggas tell me I was wrong for exposing them. My so-called friends, that look at me now and tell me shit like, yeah, happy Father's Day, nigga. I hope you have the day you deserve. I hope you do too, coward. This shit is wild work. And I don't mean to rant, but like I said, you go down the timeline. I've been doing this shit for over 3 years now. And before that, I was only solely dealing with my reality, and that part of this journey and this story in a few months will be coming to an end, because the 11th was the cutoff for the reply for conciliation. So whether we go to conciliation or not, we cannot go to conciliation and you can just make me whole and I go on my will. We can go to court and I'm going to get it anyway. But everything else that came with it was an extra side quest, because right is right and wrong is wrong. But I'm realizing you can't help people that don't want to be helped. And when I'm showing you how they're robbing you, how they're lying to you, how they're cheating and taking and stealing from you and taking your right of your free will and making decisions for yourself. And they're even voting for you. She just told you that. They're even telling the people who to fucking vote for. But I'm but one man, and you know, I can only do but so much without the reciprocal energy of my peers and the people that it actually affects. Because again, I'm not going back. So when y'all realize that there's no pension because they didn't already fuck the money up, it's not going to affect me. I've already been made whole and I'm going to be somewhere else living my fucking life. But can't nobody say I didn't try. But it is what it is. I'm going to continue to get these receipts out there to all of you. And like I said, at this point, y'all do with that as you will. I've said before, if you care about your future and your reality, then read the room and connect the dots. Look up the things that I'm telling you and tag your representative, tag your congressman, senator, tag the FBI, tag any news agency that you choose. But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, and you cannot save people that do not want to be saved. And the one thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to dog walk myself into oblivion, because I fought for my sovereignty and my rights. And when they violated me, I stepped up and stood, and no matter what it took, I said it. I've got it on tape. I told John and them, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to prove what you motherfuckers is doing to me and everybody else. But what everyone else does with that opportunity at this point, it's on them. It's not my job to fight the complete battle for everybody. But I've shown you what it takes to get it done. And no matter how unconventional or outside the box you may think it is, because it doesn't make you feel good to hear the things that I say or look at the realities I'm showing you, but I can show you the fruits of my labor. And I can show you just how far I've gotten doing exactly what I'm doing. And when you see the reaction of these motherfuckers when they're having their secret meetings in the union hall behind closed doors, because we got to shut this nigga up, or can we get a cease and desist, or they running up in crowds, stop using the voice on the video, you Yankee boy. And I'm just one man. So if y'all started doing what you know is happening and just exposing what you're going through and come out from shadows, imagine if everybody that went through what I went through or see somebody that they know going through the shit all started speaking up on their own behalf. Them 4,000 backlog of cases would go up exponentially like that. And then they would have to start answering questions, because somebody's going to say, yo, what in the fuck is going on here? But yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to get the fuck up out of here. Realize. Transparency forces accountability. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars and keep that head on the swivel. Because when it's diabolical, then the demons, a.k.a. the Viper's Pit. Or the synagogue of Satan. Word that APAC! Follow the money. Southern Poverty Law Center is a joke. NAACP, kiss my black ass. Because y'all are doing nothing for the people that created you. And you're doing everything for who your handlers tell you to. Just like 1199. See, while they're in there not fighting for your contract, they've got time to go out and fight for illegals. See, nobody wants to talk about that, but let's talk about it, because when they wasted your union due money to go get permits to go march and to pay for picket signs and everything else, but they've got all these grievances that haven't been heard since before the pandemic. And if you understand how the process and grievance really goes, which is why I'm going to get on Miss Batista ass in the next video, they're doing this shit on purpose to time you out. Because when they time you out, because you don't actually even need them to go through this process from grievance to arbitration. But when they time you out, it's just another rollover out the door, and it's just another number. And they just stall you out long enough to make you tired to shut the fuck up. And you're just a distant memory. And they've gotten their money out the deal. They've made their masters happy, and you're grabbing ankles with a sore ass. See, I got tired of getting figuratively buck broken. And so the same niggas that used to laugh at me when they was doing this shit, be like, damn, that's fucked up what they doing to you, but ha 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 ha. The same niggas that said, damn, they following your black ass around here for nothing, trying to fire you, my nigga. But then when the people come and be like, what's going on? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, boss. I ain't said that, massa. So yeah, I don't want to hear nothing about no POC coalitions or no crazy ass white folks and white supremacy. Cause when I met the Klan, all my opposition looked just like me. I've got the footage to prove it for those of you who don't like it. But for those of you who can get past the emotions of what I'm saying, and you can hear what I'm saying, now's the time to make a decision on what you want to do. Do you want to continue down this path of them doing and playing you how they playing you? Or do you want to stand 10 toes down, get it up out the mud, be the sovereign being you were created to do, and demand what is rightfully yours? Because if not, they're going to continue telling you who to vote for as they short your contracts. Because if you go back, every contract we've had in the last 15 years gets progressively worse and worse and worse. And if your institution is anything like it was at NYU, after we would sign the contract or ratify it in October, here comes February, all of a sudden these motherfuckers is changing the attendance policy after we just renewed the contract. That's against the fucking law and a violation of the contract. But guess what 1199 did? Not a damn thing. So yeah, it is what it is. I said it already. Eyes to the stars, head on a swivel, diabolical den of demons. Y'all be safe out there, man, cause I'ma be good.